All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying. Sit down. And man, this is a cold story right here. You know, yeah, we are definitely in those times, definitely in those evil times. So we'll let this play and we'll get some scripture.
A 17-year-old boy brutally attacked his parents this past Sunday, and it resulted in the death of his mother. He is now being charged as an adult, and there are so many questions right now on how this possibly could have happened. According to a neighbor, around 2 p.m., Samantha Baker and her son Brandon were in an argument on their front porch, which they said they had never heard anything like that in the last year they had been living here. They claim this fight was over social media posts, and that Samantha had been posting things that Brandon didn't like, and that Samantha shut this argument down and it ended. A lot of people online have been bringing up her posts, things like this, just normal mom stuff in my opinion. It's not clear if her husband Lance was home during this argument. He is a battalion commander in the Army, and they actually met when they were both in the Army over a decade ago. Later that night, around 9 p.m. is when everything escalated. Samantha and Lance were in an argument with Brandon. It's not clear what it really was about. Police say this is when Brandon grabbed a kitchen knife and brutally began attacking his parents as they both tried to flee their Alabama home and get outside. A neighbor said their surveillance camera captured what happened next, and that they heard Samantha let out one scream, and then they heard Lance basically begging for his life. They heard Lance say, "Why are you doing this? I don't want to die. Please, no." They then claimed they heard him repeatedly just begging and screaming for someone to help him. Allegedly, they heard Brandon tell Lance that he was going to kill him, and Lance took off to the neighbors' homes. He was going door to door. Police say his handprints were just left all around. The neighbor said while Lance was running that Brandon was right on his tail, right behind him, until eventually Brandon went back home and called 911. When police arrived, they arrested Brandon without incident. Samantha was sadly found deceased, and Lance was taken to a local hospital, and reportedly he is now in stable condition. They are charging Brandon as an adult, which is why his face and his name is being released, and he has a $1 million bond. Brandon also has a younger brother, which thank God was not at the home when all of this happened. Samantha and Lance were about to celebrate 14 years together this October, and according to sources close to the family, Lance is not the biological father of Brandon. However, he has been his father for almost his entire life. There is a lot of speculation on why this could have happened. Things as far as maybe Brandon had a CTE. We might never know what truly happened here and what caused this, but whenever I see a case where a child takes their parent's life, it is truly just a tragedy. If I can find a way to support their younger son and the rest of their family, I will add that to my page, or if anyone has that information, please let me know. A 17
Cold-blooded. You already know Matthew 24:12. And it says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." I thought I would never think that I would live in a time where stories of children murdering their parents would be a normal thing. Like this is normal now for children to put their parents to death. Now, growing up, you would hear stories of it being the opposite way. Parents will put the children to death. But now, we're in a day and age where children are putting their parents to death. This is insane. This is insane. But this is what the Lord said. He was like, what was it? I can't. Yep. Yep. Matthew 10, and I might have to start off. Matthew 10 and 34. It says, "Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. A sword cuts and divides things." It says, "For I have come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." It says, "And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." Now, granted, we know this is talking about the truth, okay? But as we know, these scriptures are manifold. And this is what we have today. We have children that are at variance with their parents. Let's get that word. Matthew 10. New Testament, Matthew 10. Dichazo. To cut into two parts, cleave asunder, sever. To make apart, sunder, set at variance. Let me just get the regular dictionary definition. It says, a difference between what is expected and what is observed. The state of differing or being in conflict. It says in law, a discrepancy between two legal documents. Okay, so basically we have a discrepancy or a conflict between two ideas or whatever is going on in that household. So it says, "For I have come to set a man at conflict, at a difference against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." This is what we have. We live in a day and age where these children are heavily against their parents. And as we just read in Matthew 24, is because the love of many, because iniquities abound and the love of many is waxing cold. There is so much immorality that has saturated this world that you got these children that grow up to be monsters. And this is why it says in 2 Timothy 3:1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High." This is why these children are in the condition that we're in, because you have so much evil that has saturated the world where they could just they just feel emboldened to do anything. I remember growing up, man. Man, you were hesitant to even raise your voice to an adult, because you knew if you ever did that, which we all had done, we've all done back in the days, that ass whooping was coming. Or you was going to get cursed the hell out in public. You was going to get slapped in your mouth. Something was going to happen that after you did that maybe 2 or 3 times, you was like, nah, I'm not trying to get that anymore. You already knew what the deal was. But in this day and age, man, these children, as the scripture says, you know, uh, 2 Ezra 5:8, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their place, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. That's what we got rolling around. We got a generation of monsters. They're uneducated. They lack all type of righteous conduct. They just do not care. As the young folks say, they give zero fucks. They do not care. Now, I don't know if this guy was still harboring beef because his dad wasn't in his life. I don't know. But whatever was going on in the household, I don't know what could have been said or done that would want this boy to put his mom to death. But he has. And now he's going to be tried as an adult and held on $1 million bail. This guy's life is through. But as it said in Galatians 6 and 7, it says, be ye not deceived, for the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So this man put his own mother to death. Now he's done. His life is gone. So yeah, I could probably say more, but that's pretty much it. Nonetheless, I hope you all are edified. To the next time, we're going to say shalom.